Hello, I'm Richard, obviously. I'm just gonna present my blog.
Life could be a dream, life could be a dream. Do, 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 shaboom. Life could be a dream. If I could take
Jenny here is gonna tell you a couple things about my blog.
you, tell me I'm
Go on, tell them.
love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
And there you have it.
Shaboom, and open with me to get boom. They don't need it.
Okay, anyways, the first one, the movie critique, that was probably one of the easiest ones. I just wrote about Fight Club. That was a good movie. I've seen it like 15 times, 20, maybe 50. I don't know. Very easy. So, I just wrote, honestly, I just figured that he suffered from severe insomnia, which is obvious. But my interpretation was that it led to degradation of the brain, which eventually led to his severe hallucinations of Tyler Durden beating him up in the parking garage and setting fire to the whole town. I would probably classify that as severe hallucinations. The second one that I had to do was the eulogy, and that one was pretty interesting because I had never actually written, let alone read anyone's eulogy. So I read a couple people's eulogies and then wrote my own. I followed the link and pretty much learned how to do it. And yeah, it was pretty interesting to get my own personal opinion on myself. So that was relatively easy, but still thought it was interesting, as was most of the ones that I did in this course. The third one that I did was the attend a group session, and I decided to go to the Alcoholics Anonymous with my brother because he's an alcoholic. It was weird at first, but after a while, the guys there were pretty nice and pretty kind. They didn't seem like raging alcoholics, and they didn't seem like the people in their stories. And I guess that's kind of how alcoholics are. They just morph into this creature once they become drunk, and I don't know, it was just weird to hear their stories, and I'd look at them and I'd be like, no. So, it was kind of an eye-opener. Don't think I'll go back, but I support my brother, so if he ever needs me to, I will go back, but it was just one of those things where personal preference, wouldn't want to go back. Just for the fun of it, wouldn't want to. It's not for me. Number 4. I decided to do the change one undesirable trait about yourself, which was hard because, come on. I did decide to try and stop drinking soda, which actually did work. I partially because my mom doesn't buy it anymore. And, but we're just going to stick with that it was because of the activity that I didn't do it. But, I would just substitute it because Smart Water, and I just like it. I don't know why. I drink that stuff by the gallon almost. But yeah, I would just substitute it, and then after a while, I would just normally gravitate towards getting water instead of a Red Bull. Yeah. Number 5 was really hard. The tracing your family genealogy back, that was really hard for me because we actually don't have any files whatsoever on our family members. The only way that I could actually trace my family was by asking my mom and my dad, and then I called my grandma on my mom's side, and then I So that's my dad. And that's about as far back as he could tell me. And then as far as the psychological disorders are concerned, that was always common knowledge. Like, oh, grandma had this, mom has this, I have this. That was always just common knowledge. So, and then I just wrote a reflection on the people who had the most direct influence on my life, which was my immediate family, my brothers, my mom, my dad. Yeah, that was it. Number 6 was the story, the creative story at the birth of psychology, and I wrote a poem with a bunch of psychologists in it, and very well known, and this and that, and it was a lot of fun. If someone were to read it, I would hope that it'd be like a sophisticated gentleman with a pipe, glasses, and a scarf. It all started on a brisk summer's day as Wilhelm Wundt relaxed somewhere in Germany. As he sat under a tree and read a good book, he heard a loud noise and could not help but look. Great God, he exclaimed as he stared at a vortex that had appeared from thin air. A massive black hole had opened up and sucked up his lawn chair. That was it. There was no damage done to the surrounding area. However, to Wilhelm, it made it all that much scarier. For number 7, very self-explanatory, just did a model of the brain. As you can see in this picture, it's just a general grouping and color coordination. And very simple, very easy to catch on to. So that's it. The 8th and final one was the advertising one, and pretty much I was just watching TV and decided that I was going to do that one. 2 I got from TV, and then the other 2 were from when I was on YouTube, actually, and I was looking at music videos, and they always have these promotional ads before, so that was just relatively simple to figure out. Just, well, look for an ad. So yeah, and I just wrote about that and how I felt about some of the ads, because some of them are very annoying because you see them repetitively, and which is ironic because the more I see it, the more I don't want to buy the product. So
Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above.